All right, so tonight we're back on the pod. We have a very special guest,
Like you said,
Mauricio, but I call him Mauro.
all my friends call me Mauro.
Do they?
Yeah, you can call me.
Welcome to the show, Mauro.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Welcome
Thanks
to
for
the
having
show.
me.
So Mauro, we go back long time, and I was psyched to have him on here because he's in the same industry as me. So
Cool.
I have a ton of questions for him. The name of his company, Estimate Experts. And what they do is they write these estimates for all guys like myself, like people in the insurance industry, contractors, restoration companies. Like, who else is a big client?
Restoration companies, roofing companies, all type of contractors. We find from plumbers, roofers, guys that they just do painting and drywall. We do all
So
type
it's
of
not
estimates.
it's not just insurance industry.
Mostly insurance. Let's say community knows us very well for that. That's kind of our strongest muscle. Insurance, claim management, and Xactimate, which is basically kind of the key word here.
Got it.
But yeah, many contractors use it also for retail, and it keeps actually growing in the industry. Right now, you find mortgage companies validating Xactimates, banks, house flippers, property management, also wanting to have these estimates on Xactimate.
So tell me a little bit. I know we could talk for hours, which will probably be on here tonight because it's a lot to cover. But briefly, give me a little introduction of what the company actually is, where you see it going, where it came from, your vision, how you grew it as a business standpoint.
Great question. So, Paul, look, the main gap our company is filling up, and we saw it kind of evolving this way. The contractor, the roofer guy, they are the dry out companies, mold remediation companies. They are really good at their craft. They are really good at remediating the mold, going to the property, cutting it, nailing shingle, right? That's what they like to do. And we figured out that typically the contractor sitting on a computer there for hours is not his cup of tea.
Yeah, not mine.
This goes across the board for all the contractors nationwide. I think many people that might be seeing us right now could be like, oh, yeah, that's me. I like to be driving the trucks, dealing with the crews, building the actual house.
That's definitely AJ.
Yep.
Being in the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we realized that al contraire, our team, they like to be
Right.
comfy behind their desk.
Sure.
And they can be there 8 hours nonstop. So it became a very nice win-win situation where we saw that our cup of tea was what the contractor were needing, which is somebody that takes over of this digital work and transcribing all this information that they sent us, which can be summarized on 3 things. With the measurements, the scope of work, and the pictures, basically we have enough information to write any estimate. That's how we realized that we were filling that gap, that we were delivering the value to those contractors that they hate to be on behind the computer. And it was something that our company was really good at it. That's how everything worked, and that's how it was born, and that's how we see it unfolding.
So you saw a need in the industry and you just ran with it.
Yes.
And it's a big need. I mean, who likes writing estimates? It's tough.
Right.
Sketching and all that.
We're in the field from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6, and then you're working on your computer 5 hours a night. You know, that's no life. So you're freeing up their time to enjoy and spend with their family, and you're taking that worry off their plate and communicating with their client directly. Do you communicate with the client directly, or you just communicate with the contractor?
We only communicate with the contractor.
Understand.
There is something that it's a very delicate subject. And keep in mind that the only person that can represent a homeowner, and I think this applies not only in Florida, nationwide, it's going to be a public adjuster or an attorney.
Right.
We don't intervene with the homeowner because we don't act as those.
Understood.
Right? So we represent the contractor, basically, and we help the contractor. And everything we do, we act as part of the contracting firm.
That's interesting,
Gotcha.
actually. So they're your client. You're the contractor's your client, not the homeowner.
Not the homeowner.
The contractor's client is the homeowner. They deal with the contractor.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
it's a good point. I mean,
And the contractor will be the one dealing with the homeowner directly. Obviously, the contractor being our customer, we look after them.
Right.
We make sure the contractor is the one that actually gets paid at the end. And we try to protect them on any way we find. I can cite probably cases where we detect that a contractor didn't have a contract with that homeowner, and he was already spending money with us. So at that point, we suggest them like, hey, make sure you get protected and you sign a contract with the homeowner, because it can happen that the homeowner gets paid and doesn't hire them, and then they end up spending $200-300 on the estimate. So
right.
it's not a good position for the contractor to be.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
So you have the question, so I'll let you run
Well,
with
do
it.
you have any question off the top of your head? I mean, I know I wrote down a ton of them. I want to get that off my plate.
No, I'm saying on the phone. I don't have them on my phone.
I know, but did you write down questions?
No, we could edit this
I
out.
have them.
Yeah.
What are you editing? Why do you always want to edit?
I'm just reminding you that you have the questions in front of you.
I understand. I have them right here.
Okay.
Would you like me to pass you the phone?
No, I'm fine.
Oh.
You're in space.
No, I'm not in space. It's an interesting point though, because as a business standpoint, and it brings us back into like just the podcast about service-based,
Sure.
Clients and referral networks, and you build spotlighting the service-based industry. As a business owner, as a roofer, you either are going to hire a company like him, pay a ridiculous salary to an in-house employee that maybe doesn't justify it if you don't have enough work, or you're doing it yourself.
Right.
And as any business owner, they can't do it themselves. It's
Right.
impossible. We've tried it. It doesn't work.
No, I know when I got my roof done, I was every time they had to send me something, they seemed aggravated, because they had to draw it up. Right. So I'm still waiting for my, the final work and everything, so I get it to my wind mitigator before he does a report, So
I hear you. And let me tell you guys something very remarkable that happens with us. And I hear this happening numerous times, mostly for bigger companies. That big established company, I have heard this type of story. I talked to the company owner, and the guy is telling me, look, Mauricio, we got involved into the insurance environment. We realized that the estimates have to be done on Xactimate. So we went and bought the software. We didn't cheap. The software will cost you $3,000 a year.
And then training.
Wait. So they get the software, but as you just mentioned, that thing doesn't run by itself.
No.
You got to sit down and learn and do it. What happens is this. The support. If you don't know how to do something on Xactimate, if you want to call them, they will charge you for that call.
If you call Xactimate for help?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
plus you have to set up templates and all of that, right?
If, let's say, you don't know how to install the software and you need help installing it, you either have to do it through email or through a chat. That way it's free. If you want to call and get somebody on the phone, they will charge you for the call.
I tried. It was terrible. I couldn't do it. It's just way too time consuming for a business owner.
So what's going to happen is this. Let's say, and typically, the contractor doesn't know how to use the Xactimate. So Xactware will offer them the training, as you said. Oh, no problem. We're going to offer you the training. The training is not free. It will cost you $800. And you will have to take approximately, and if you're computer savvy, 3 days to a week off to go and do this training.
And learn it.
Let's say this guy had the time, took the time, did the licensing. Now he knows how to use the software. There is a catch. There's three levels. So that first one is going to give you the certification one. You need to go deeper. You got to go the other two. And then after jumping all those hoops, he has to write those estimates.
Right.
So after he did everything during the day, as you said, Angelo, now he has to go back home, spend, who knows, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours writing that estimate. That's what I've seen happening a lot.
Sure.
That company owner calling me saying, hey, Mauricio, I went through all these hoops, bought the software, did the license. Now I'm trapped behind my desk writing these estimates.
Yeah.
And who's running the company?
Not only that, then inexperience comes into play. I mean, when you write an estimate, it better be accurate, because if it's not accurate and you're light, they're going to pay you on the light side. They're not going to pay you on the. They're not going to say, "Oh, you forgot 40,000 square feet of drywall."
Right.
You know, and that happens. That's inexperience comes into play.
Of course.
So Mauricio, once you send the estimate to the contractor and they review it and say, "Hey, you know what? We missed one thing, or this needs to be taken off." How do the revisions work?
Okay, so our interaction with the customer, we're really good at it, and we have nailed it very well because of the way the company is structured. All the communication with our customer is being dealt by an account manager. So we appoint him a designated account manager in charge of his account.
Mm-hmm.
Each account manager in our company has a whole team backing them up. So that one account manager has 5 estimators, which are the ones grinding the estimates. Our account managers, they don't write the estimates, or they're estimators. They make sure they collect all the information from the customer in case they have any special requirement, or what we define in the company as their estimation style. They have certain estimation style. They want their estimate certain way. We tailor them that way too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the job of the account manager. The estimators write the estimate. The account manager does the quality control, make sure everything is according, and then proceeds to the delivery or rejects it for them to fix whatever needs to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first filter of quality control. Once also, they have 2 assistants. So the account manager has the team of 5 estimators and 2 assistants, which are in charge of all the email communication, answering the phones for their customers. So our customers will always find somebody picking up their calls.
Gotcha.
During office hours, 9 to 6. And we take care of these revisions that way. So all the estimates have a guarantee of free unlimited revision.
Right. They're unlimited revisions.
Unlimited, as many times you need. We do have a time frame on it, which is 6 months.
Oh,
so
wow.
we will offer free unlimited revisions during 6 months time frame.
Gotcha.
We had established that because it happened. We had calls from after 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, after 2 years, we wrote the estimate.
Right.
We had that customer calling us asking for the revision. The problem we having is that
Pricing, you got to update current pricing and everything. Everything changed.
or maybe the estimator was not even with us anymore.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
that person probably got promoted to a different position, and now they are not writing estimates anymore.
Understood.
So then we had to pay somebody else to cover that revision. That's what we established the 6 months, which we think it gives the contractor more than enough time to
for sure.
take as many changes as they need on the estimate.
Sure.
Mhm.
Agreed.
awesome.
Now, I also noticed on the site, I read it somewhere. Maybe it was a good review. I think somebody wrote you a good review with the claim management. What is that? What does your claim management process look like, and what is it? I don't even know.
Okay, very simple. And this is mostly the 2 more iconic services our company offers, which one will be the estimation. The second one will be the claim management. The claim management is what comes after the estimate is done. So, to give you just a clear example, you're a roofer, you call us, you need an estimate for a roof, you give us the address, the scope of work, and the pictures of the damages. We write that estimate for you, insurance compliant, on Xactimate, with all the requirements that insurance company is going to ask you for. But we will deliver it to you as the contractor.
Right.
In case you need any change, actually, in case you forgot something, you forgot to mention the plywood, you just let us know. We will add it. Free unlimited revisions, right? But once that estimate is done, it's your responsibility as a contractor to define what are you going to do with it. Are you going to send it to the homeowner? Are you going to send it to the insurance company and try to collect, right? Or to the bank, depending on the purpose you're having.
Yep.
If it's an insurance company, it tends to be a little pain in the butt. And
On your end or their end?
on the contractor end.
Right.
Because these insurance adjusters, they are, I want to say that they're probably very busy helping hundreds of customers.
Yeah.
So
Good luck
getting
getting
them
them on
on
the
the phone is not easy.
Good luck.
Exactly.
Especially when there's a storm or a major catastrophe, they're just inundated.
And it's what it I was talking about this with one of our customers earlier today. Now you're gonna need two companies, because now you need a roofing company that writes the roof, that builds the roof, but now you're gonna need a billing company that goes and collect this. This is adding a whole process on your company,
Sure.
which is the billing process on billing this insurance company,
And collecting
basically following up, collecting it, delivering the paperwork, making sure the estimate is delivered, that they got it, that confirming that they receive it, finding out who is the insurance adjuster or the desk adjuster assigned, making sure that desk adjuster receive it, figuring out if they have any question, if it's clear.
Right.
All this back and forward takes a lot of time.
And you're acting not really for the homeowner. You're acting on behalf of the contractor.
Exactly.
Because that's your client, not the homeowner.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that they got the contractor's estimate, maybe if there's any questions, and then where are they as far as payment and stuff like that?
Of course, the status of the claim. What is the status? It's on evaluation. Are they pending for coverage? Are they about to pay and approve?
Right.
Also, any revision, because it happens that the insurance company, and just to give any random scenario, it could be, hey, look, we're going to settle, but we're not going to cover the portable potty.
Right.
Right. And many times it's just convenient for the contractor just to remove that portable potty and not to charge that and move forward with the claim. So we facilitate all that. Obviously, everything goes with our customer approval. We report them all the time. And if they are okay just waiving that charge in order to keep moving forward with the claim,
that actually speeds up the process, because now the contractor has to chase down, like we went through, the adjuster. And now the adjuster has to tell me what they're not paying for, like the situation we had with flood, for example. Right. Now I have to go back to the estimating team, and now they have to make the revision. It'd be great if the estimating team would actually just deal with them directly, like you.
Yes.
And make the revision and then give it to the contractor. Hey, I spoke to the agent, right? We're taking off the porta potty.
Of course.
So that's the customer relations, like consistent basis with them?
Of course.
So when someone hires you for claims management, that portion of the claims management, if they want your team to work on that for them, how long do you or stay in communication with the insurance company until the claim is settled?
I love that question. As per our contract, we do have 120 days.
Okay.
Which is 4 months. Keep in mind that typically the insurance companies, they have 90 days to give you a coverage decision. So we go a little bit higher than that, but we never stop there. Okay. We got claims that we have gone after there for 6 months. Remember, we're on the same boat.
Right.
We want them to pay it. So yeah, if the contractor obviously after those 120 days, if we see that it's too hairy, we might recommend the contractor to look for legal advice, aka an attorney. But we don't give up on the case. We keep following up. We keep trying to get any status, any condition, and we push until definitely there's nothing else to do.
Right. And these contractors with insurance jobs, they're out, again, running their business.
Yep.
Doing estimates, getting new business, working with new customers, moving on to different projects. And then those are lingering projects. So instead of them picking up the phone and time blocking an hour or two out of their day to follow up on people owing them money or things that are just unsettled, right? You guys are doing that for them while they're out in the field doing their job, and they get a status report on that, correct?
Yep.
Of that process of what's going on, so they don't have to worry about it. They know twice a week that claim's being followed up on. It's not just going to fall on deaf ears and squeaky wheel gets the grease. So these insurance companies say, oh, these guys keep calling 2 times a week. We need to move this along because it's top of mind for them. So the follow-up is great. Any business, you have to follow up, right? So if the insurance company, if you don't follow up with them, they're not going to pay, or they're just going to take forever anyway. So, it's a great service.
Now I got to pay for a full-time employee just to follow up.
Right. Well, your admin has to follow up, and you have to task it to somebody to do.
And
that's being done by your company.
Yeah, it takes the time away from other tasks. Then.
Correct.
And not only that, when you're depending on that employee, it's not only how much it's costing you on salaries. Many times they need workers' comp. You need to jump all these hoops.
For sure.
And keep in mind that guy probably is on an hourly rate. We are not. We are on a production rate. We pay per estimate. We get paid per estimate.
One fee,
One unit.
one unit.
Per job.
Yes, exactly. And we have seen I believe this happens on any industry, whenever you go hourly, it gets harder to track down. You don't know how many estimates that person is going to write or how proactive it's going to be. Not only that, I hear it all the time. Mauro, I had this estimator, been working great with him for the last 2 years. He just ghosted on me. I don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
He retired. He got sick. He went and he did his own stuff. You're depending from that person.
Yeah.
If you're training an employee and you're investing on his training, you get him licensed on Xactimate, you still depend on that guy. That guy is going to get sick one day. That guy is going to retire one day. We have been here for years. We have a pretty robust team of around 20 people writing estimates left and right.
Wow.
And yeah, that might happen to us. But if one gets sick, we still have 19 grinding every day there. So
That's great.
It's more reliable solution for our customer as well.
What's cool too, business ebbs and flows, business is up and down sometimes. So if you're writing reports for a roofing company and they do 10 estimates in 1 month and then the next month it's only 2, they're just paying per job. So they're not paying that heavy salary to somebody sitting in an office, whether business is up, down, or sideways. As the estimates come in, they're paying for them. And as business is up and down, that's how your business flows with them, right? You're not just paying a flat fee like a monthly rate or anything like that.
No fees at all.
Which helps out.
Exactly. No
with cash flow,
They have actually, and I tell this verbatimly also every time I talk to a customer, no monthly fees, no long-term agreements, no contracts. We hate those.
Paper job.
Don't like to force our customer to use us with a contractual obligation or anything like that. Quality, making sure that we always answer the phone for them, and commitment. We're very committed having them happy. And making sure that they keep calling us every single time. We're not here to write one estimate for them and letting them go.
Right. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's a couple new services coming down the pipe. I know that, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
There's news for us. There's news for Estimate Experts. We've been working the last quarter on that. A little bit over than that. Almost, I will say, within the next 30 to 60 days, they should be live. The two biggest news we have for our community will be, number one, estimates for retail.
For what?
Retail jobs,
okay.
Not insurance. Direct customers. This contractor that is not dealing with an insurance, and we hear this word a lot: a takeoff.
Yep.
Contractors requiring a takeoff, which is not on Xactimate. They are done on different tools that is out there. We will be providing those services, which they are more affordable than an Xactimate estimate. The manpower you got to put on it is less.
Right.
So we will translate that value to the contractor, which ultimately will offer him a more affordable estimate, allowing him to bid without suffering that much. When you have to bid on jobs and you got to pay $400, $300 per estimate.
Right.
Yeah, you cannot do a lot of those, right? So that's the goal, being able to offer them on the retail front takeoffs and estimates with price at a way more affordable rate, allowing them to bid these jobs without being scared. That's one big one that we have, probably rolling out within the next 30 days. The second one will be what we decided to call instant roofing estimates, which are mostly also for the roofing community. Roofers that are, sometimes they are either knocking doors or canvassing a block on a city.
Yep.
We create for them quick estimates that we can just produce with the address of the property. It's going to come in 3 different materials, and it's just going to cost them around $10 per estimate.
Cost the roofing company.
for the roofing company.
$10 an estimate.
Exactly. So that way that roofing company can easily have 40 or 20 estimates on a block.
Yep.
It's going to cost him, a couple of hundreds. But now he will have 40 houses that he can go and he will have already a printed estimate or a digital version with their logo, the homeowner information, so they can present it to the homeowner. It will come on 3 different options. So the contractor will have 3 different options for the material. Let's say shingle, tile, metal, and offering the homeowner 3 different prices on the 3 different material with the range, either on the low end or on the high end.
Opposed to, like when I had my roof priced out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole nother story, but so I was getting estimates for my roof.
Mm-hmm.
Called a couple companies. They came out, walked the property, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. How much? Oh, we have to write it up. Have a good day. Never got back to me.
Never saw him again.
Never saw him again. Because it just takes probably forever. And they just, for whatever reason, they don't do it. One guy got back to me. It was out of his mind. But so now let me ask you this. Well, there wouldn't be any pricing for me as a homeowner. So if I'm actually, again, back to the Service Spotlight podcast, right? Information. Like
Right.
you said that one episode. What did you say? Public information thing? What was it?
Oh, Ask the Public?
No, ask the public.
There's a website called Ask the Public.
No, you said something good. It was like something. I don't know. Consumer information. I don't know what you
Not
said.
sure. Not sure.
We got to review it. But
Which
it was
episode?
great. I don't remember.
I don't know.
It was like a public service announcement.
PSA.
That's what it was.
What was the announcement about, though?
I
I
forgot.
have a lot of them.
So now if I'm pricing out, like let's say I want to get a roof
Mhm.
and I want to know how much it's going to cost before I go to a builder so I don't get screwed over by a roofer. I mean, can I have that service or no? Or no, because they're gonna set the prices.
Yes, remember that every roofing company has different price
Right,
per
so
square.
you don't know that. You don't know.
They measure it per square. I want to emphasize something. Yes, you could do it on Exactimate. You can have an Exactimate estimate,
Right.
which is going to tell you how much that roof will
Industry
cost.
standard pricing.
Industry standard pricing on Exactimate. When we go to the retail front, the variation is wider because now it all depends on how much that roofer wants to charge per square.
Mhm.
And we can find differences of over $200-300 per square depending on the roofing company.
Right.
Let's say the roofing from a marketing standpoint, and the roofer wanted to canvas this neighborhood, right? For instance, and they did an estimate for every house in here, and then direct mailed those estimates to the house with their business card on them. They can use that from a marketing standpoint as well, too.
100%, of course. And he's going to basically
Nice and
cost
professional.
them $10 a pop.
And you white label their logo on the estimate.
White label their logo. It comes out like if they wrote it. Actually, all our services are white label. It comes like if they build a main house.
So from a marketing standpoint, if you're a roofing company, that would be a great marketing idea. If you wanted to specifically target one area, these roofs are 30 years old. Everybody's going to need a roof because every insurance company is giving everybody a hard time because of a certain type of material. They can target that neighborhood and probably pick up a lot of jobs. And for them too, if they're working in the same neighborhood, let's just say, for instance, and doing 3 or 4 houses at a time, that's better for them because they're all their equipment and stuff is in one area and their staff.
And then
So
they're
they can-
prospecting with real numbers.
Right.
Your numbers are XYZ, man. Pick one. You know?
Right. So that's
Yeah.
it. I think I like that idea. If I was a roofing company, I'd be all over that. you
So
know?
would I.
Yes. And it's something that at the price point we are trying to offer it's something that we are aiming to disrupt the market because nobody offers this service for $10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. That's a great service.
So those are the 2 big ones that we have been cooking.
So the roofer is going to give you the measurements.
Nope. We just need the address.
And then what? So how does that work?
You as a roofer, you give me the address through satellite tools. We will scope the address. We will see the house. We will measure the roof. We will provide you with the measurements. And remember, you as a roofer, you tell me how much you want to charge per
Right.
square. And that we will do that simple math. How much you want to charge per square on the low end and on the high end. We will multiply it for the amount of squares that roof has. and it's gonna show displayed
And
on
you
your
already got the
estimate.
satellite image, so you know the pitch and all that.
Exactly.
I know that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well,
That's neat. I like that service.
All those we take him through satellite.
That's great. So if somebody wants to, is that rolled out now, or you're rolling that out soon?
It is actually the platform is done. We have spent this last month training the team who is going to be taking care of those estimates, and again, should be up and running within the next 30 days.
Yeah, and folks, and Mauro works nationwide, so this isn't just we're recording in Florida, but he can do estimates anywhere in the U.S.
Anywhere in the U.S.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, actually, we got customers in Hawaii and non-continental United States.
That's cool.
Tell me about Sketch Edge.
So Sketch Edge is something that we have been, let's call it our Project X. We have been working it behind the curtains around 2 years of development. It's a private owned and funded by estimate experts. It's kind of for research and development Project X that we have.
So
been doing.
you're building this right now.
Yes, it's a mobile app that actually is out there in the marketplace already. You can go on the iPhone marketplace and download it. At this point, we do have what I like to call a working prototype. Still look a little raw, still have some glitches, but we are currently developing. Hopefully, we have it live within the next 6 months, up and running. And it's a app that will allow the contractor to manage all their projects. Not only your customer, because it can be used by any contractor nationwide, either if they decide to use our services or not. This will allow them to create the projects, save on that same project all the information, basic information, homeowner name, address, maybe if they need insurance information, insurance policies, claim numbers, and all this data that is relevant for it. Additionally, it will allow them to save pictures and video on the project itself. Also, scan documents. So policies, contracts they have, they can scan it all within the same app. Everything gets packaged there. And the cherry on top of the pie of it will be that it will allow them to measure the properties on is the fastest way we have seen out there. It uses actually the LiDAR technology of the iPhone Pros, and it will trace a 3D rendering and a 2D rendering. We will provide both. So the three-dimensional rendering of the property with the measurements and the two-dimensional floor plan, which will allow them to have the measurements, which we know a lot of the contractors that work on interior projects, they have to deal with this sketching portion.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's not very, very fun to do. Actually, I suffer a lot with those when I was doing it on the field. So it will allow them to have it on an accurate way. It looks nicer too. And they could, man, we have measured it. I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you it's the fastest way. You can measure a 2,000 square feet property in less than 10 minutes.
So you just roll your camera.
You roll your camera. We probably will show some of the videos that you can post on the podcast too, and you can show how it works. And again, as I mentioned, everybody can just download it on their iPhones. As long as they have an iPhone Pro, they will be able to use all the full capabilities.
Is there a cost on that or no?
There's no cost right now.
So it's free to download.
It's free to download.
Free to use.
Free to use.
And they don't have to use your services for estimating.
Yes, they don't.
So just a nice thing to do.
Well, right now, remember, we have this prototype. It's not like fully developed.
Right.
It's not always going to be free. We aspire at one point to have such a solid tool that we will charge some type of monthly membership.
Yep.
Which we're trying to have it very affordable. It's something that will be around the $10-$20 a month.
Yep.
So they can use it, and we're trying just to become a massive, right? So everybody can document their properties, take the pictures, take the videos, scan the physical documents they need to scan, and measure the properties too and have it on an organized way. Obviously, in case they need an estimate, it has that little button right there that it says request estimate, and it will just send all the information to us, meaning that that customer won't have to do any extra step or send us any additional link or upload anything because we will already have all the information of the product.
And again, just saving the contractors a ton of time.
Yeah, my wheels are spinning always. So I'm thinking from a homeowner standpoint, that would be good for a homeowner to have to document everything that they have in their property, all their insurance policies, any photos that they have in the event that a storm is coming, or every couple of years they just update what they have because, God forbid, the house burns down and everything's not documented. And then the insurance company asks, well, what did you have here? And what furniture did you have here? And they're like, well, I don't, have those receipts from years ago. They can put all those receipts and everything right in that app.
Of course, they can scan it. So the
keep your home organized with that as a homeowner.
I never thought of that, but yeah, it's a versatile
it's a great
tool.
idea.
And if you have rental properties, a portfolio of properties with managers running around doing stuff, they can use that app to manage the properties, and the documents will stay with each specific property in the project.
Of course, and not only that, the way we build it is that we the user will have the main account, and he could have employees account.
You could share it with somebody.
Exactly. So they will be on the field collecting the information, which all the information is going to go to the main account, and then the company owner can control it as well.
So everybody who owns a home or a contractor needs that app. They're going to have it.
Well, yeah,
no brainer.
That's what we're trying to.
That's exciting.
That's what we're trying to add value.
Yeah,
we make sure.
I never thought about that.
Get your insurance policy every year. What do I do with it? I take it and I put it in a folder and put it in my desk drawer, and then the next year it sits there. And I do the same thing every year with the insurance policy. And then if I had to get it for an emergency, you don't have it. If you're remote somewhere, you have it. You're like, here's my policy.
Oh yeah, you can carry it on your phone all the time.
You can send it to whoever you need to. Well, it's in the cloud. It's in the app.
Of course,
it's not even on your phone, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty neat.
That's because you're organized, super organized.
I'll try to be.
Yeah. Think ahead.
Right.
Because if the house burns down and they can't get it, then they got to deal with the insurance company, and then they got to send it to you, and you don't know what burnt, like you said.
Right.
Or flood it out.
Here's proof. Here's pictures of everything. Here's a scan.
And receipts.
Yeah.
I spent, $25,000 on this carpet.
Right.
So
that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, because the key here is that the exterior of the project is not a challenge to produce. And as I mentioned before, on the roofing environment, we do it through satellite all day, every day. Same thing, the siding.
Yeah, the interior is always
the siding of the properties, you get them through satellite tools.
Sure.
They even show you the openings, the windows, the doors. The interior, though,
different story.
Different story because, again, you might find a database from the floor plans from the city, but what if that homeowner just renovated the house? They rearranged the rooms. The only way to do it is having a current sketch with the measurements of how the property and then the interior layout is being built at that point.
Gotcha.
So I think we covered a lot of sketch edge that I needed answers for, but I know that we wrapped a lot of that up. Like motivated behind sketch, like what motivated you for that app is just a fail in that space. Like there's no way to do it.
We just see the need. We just saw the need. We saw, believe me, I hear contractors complaining all the time of how much they hate scoping a property. And there are tools out there, like you can use a Matterport camera, but you got to drop a lot of money on a camera. Yep. Now you have to carry all this hardware because you need to carry the camera, you need to carry the tripod, you need to carry in an additional device. You got to carry either an iPhone or an iPad on it. With us, you can just do it from the phone. The big downside, and don't get me wrong, I think Matterport is a great product.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool what it does. It takes a lot of time, though.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, a contractor will take 3-4 hours on a property just doing the work they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to run a Matterport on that house, that could easily be adding 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes until their visit.
Gotcha.
It's not time efficient.
Yeah, you're a time-saving company, saving contractors
Yes,
time.
that's what we try
Right.
to do.
So they can get out there and bid more jobs and enjoy their time when they're off.
And we're very customer oriented.
That's
We
awesome.
are always listening to what are their pains, what they need. We're very committed in making sure that our customer is happy.
Gotcha.
That's the most important thing for us. If actually the money gets secondary, if that customer is not happy, we will issue a refund, make sure he's good, and up to the next one.
Right.
That's what we try.
So, Mauro, how do people get in touch with your company, Estimate Experts?
We're very easy to get in touch with. They can find us Facebook. We do have our YouTube channel. The easier way for us is just giving us a call, 561-677-2366. We're open Monday through Friday, office hours, 9 to 6. Also, they can find us on our website. They will find all the information, pricing tiers, all the pricing structure is published there. We try
Awesome.
to keep it very transparent as well, because actually, personally, that's one of the things I hate the most when I deal with a company. And I shake them all the time when they don't have a clear answer for this. How much this costs? If they start telling me, yes, send me the project, I will analyze it and tell you, like that kind of stuff, I really don't like it that much, or we make sure we don't have it on our company.
That's
The
great.
contractor knows already how much is that going to cost him. And it's something very easy to put on the books also, because if you are rebuilding a house and you know the estimate is going to cost you, let's say $250, you already put it there on the expenses. It's just going to be a fixed fee.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
great.
another good benefit of that for sure. What about some success stories? Obviously, you've been doing this for quite some time, and I know you're really good at it. And you know, great reviews. You got to have some feedback. What's one, any like contractor or specific client that sticks out in your mind that, like,
Man, I'm happy to be able to tell you that we do have a ton of those.
I bet.
We do have a ton of success stories. We don't have like thousands of reviews. We have over 100.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from a sales background, guys, this is something that makes me very happy to say, because I know that positive reviews, they are very tricky to get if not fabricated. Let me just give you a clear example. Let's say we go to dinner tonight.
Yep.
And we go to a nice restaurant. The food was banging. You get home and write a review?
No,
I don't.
No, I'm not a review guy.
no, me.
But
either,
if somebody
unfortunately.
asks me to write a review
right,
and they did a good job, I will write it.
Exactly. So people has to ask for this review.
But there are people that go home and write the review, though. That's just not me.
Let me tell you.
you know what? They go. Those are the people who go home and write the negative reviews more so than the positive.
Correct.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
People will write the bad review.
First.
You're going to write probably you will do it too if you have a bug on the soup. If we go to dinner, so reviews is something very tricky, because bad reviews, yes, like people will go, if something goes south, you will hear from
They're
them.
the first to light you up.
The good review, no, man, because that's what we expected.
Yeah, they're expecting.
Right.
When we
Well,
go,
people love to complain.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
When we go to that nice restaurant, and if the food is perfect, I guarantee none of us three is gonna get home and write a review tonight.
Right.
Right.
And I know that from being on sales all my life.
Right.
It's very satisfying to see our customers, busy contractors, taking time of their day and writing these nice reviews. So again, success stories, we have a lot. The numbers speaks by themselves. Just to give you an amount. We had last year, 2024, we have 1,035 customers along the year.
Wow.
And our repeated purchase rate is 96%.
What does that mean?
That is the customer that comes and buys
gotcha.
again and comes back.
Not
and
a
comes
one-time
back
Willie.
and comes back.
Right.
Every month, our average is like 97% returning customers, 3% new customers. It is always like that. Most of our customers are returning clients.
Yeah.
That's great.
They
That's great.
experience and they keep coming back. That's the
Exactly.
key
Or
of
you
anything.
build your business on referrals and references and people that want to work with you and you continue with something that's good. When they come back, it's great. When somebody comes back to use me again, that's just a testament to how good you were.
Yes.
Because they would just easily can call somebody else.
And again, it shows our commitment to them. They know that we have a company that cares, that somebody will answer their phone, take their message, try to answer their question.
Sure.
And we have trained the whole team to go the extra mile. We
That's
teach
awesome.
everybody to just, try to help them, make sure they are good, and try to fix the problem.
Yeah. And that's rare these days, good customer service. You don't find it that often. And when you do, something you want to stick with because it makes their job easier, right? It makes them stand out to their customer,
Exactly.
the end user,
Not only that, if you're a company, and I like to call them this way, if you're a customer burner machine, it has no future. You're doomed.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that customer is happy and comes back. And if they ask for you, he has a good answer.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But Mauro, you're a business owner. Drop some knowledge and some nuggets.
I was just going to say that.
Let's get some nuggets.
That's what I want to know.
I want some little
I
nuggets
wanted
to
to-
take home.
Why'd you take my question?
I didn't even know.
That's my next
You're
question.
going to ask for specific nuggets?
This is how did you ask it?
I said drop some knowledge. I want to hear some specific nuggets.
This is what I want to know. For all of our people who watch, mostly, small business owners that we're looking to build this network, how did you get so successful? What's the key?
Well, I'm still on the way. I haven't gotten there
You're,
yet.
you're
I'm
probably one of the top ones that
We're
that
building.
that I know in business. But for real, as a small business owner, growing to the scale that you did, how did you do it?
Okay, I think number one, learning how to delegate is fundamental. You gotta be very patient when you train everyone because sometimes, and I had that problem. I expected people to have a quick learning curve.
Yeah.
Typically, doesn't happen that
Yeah.
way. So it goes hand to hand with delegating. Yes, delegating sound nice, but one, finding the right people, probably you won't do it on the first shot. You need to go through different ones till you find the right one.
Yep.
And the second one will be investing on the training on them, to be very patient because sometimes things that are common sense for us, they are not for that person. And you got to walk them through that. So patience and learn to delegate is number one. I think fundamental, and this is a tricky one, it's being lucky. You gotta be on the right time at the right place. Because at one point, and this happened before COVID, at one point when we were growing the company, our vision was to have a big building and have a lot of people coming to the building and working in the building. But then, and before COVID, we were working on a remote way. We have a mixed team. So we do have team here in Florida, which we actually even offer services on site. We will go to a property,
Yeah.
we will scope the property, sketch it, satellite views, thermal cameras, and all these on-site services with our crew here in Florida. But we also have a remote team. I'll say probably over 75% of the company, they work remote. And we realize that our vision maybe was not very smart. And what helps us feel that is that COVID hit.
Yeah.
And now everyone was sent home. And now all these big companies started to work remotely. And at one point,
Thank God for Zoom.
yes, and at one point, our board, our directors, we realized that we were already one step ahead to where the world was going,
Right.
which is this remote working
you had that vision
scenario
already.
that we are. Yeah.
So a ton of knowledge tonight.
Yeah, it was great.
It was
Great.
really,
Thanks for
really
coming on.
interesting.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on. We've
Thank
been
you for
trying to
having
get you
us.
here for quite some time. You made a nice long drive down. I appreciate you being here. So one last time, tell everybody how they can find you.
Again, or the best way will be giving us a call, 561-677-2366. Our website, estimate-experts.com. Somebody's going to be here ready to and happy to help them Monday through Friday, 9 to 6.
What about IG? Any handles on?
Yeah, Instagram at Estimate Experts, Facebook at Estimate. We're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube.
All over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So reach out tomorrow anytime for estimates, and they can tell you kind of how it works, and this website will show all the details on it as well too. So check them out.
Of course, we will be thrilled to work with them and add value to their operation.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming on.
You're the man.
Appreciate it. See you guys next time.